Mahindra Finance started about 94, which is almost will complete 30 years now. And so that was around the time that the economic liberalization had just happened in 91. So in some sense, our growth trajectory is closely mirrors that of India post liberalization. And specifically in the auto, we have grown with all the OEMs. Although we are a part of Mahindra, we are amongst the top one, two, three for Maruti, Hyundai, Kia, Tata Motors, just about everyone. And we have grown with the OEMs, we have grown with the dealers. So we have seen the whole ecosystem evolve, and we've been an integral part of it. So the depth and the strength of relationships that we have over the last 30 years, its weight, its worth in, maybe not gold, platinum, or some such rare mineral, and it's impossible to replicate it for anyone as well. So that's how we have started, and we are in an absolute position of strength and dominance currently. Just moving to the next slide, Bharat. Right. I don't know if there is a lag on my side, but I'm still on the NOAA slide. If we can move to the next one. Yeah, that's good. So, like I said, we are a financial services, dare I say, a powerhouse with presence in each and every segment of what a customer requirements are. The first one is, of course, Mahindra Finance, which is the parent company, which is predominantly into vehicle and equipment finance. Almost about 25,000 odd employees spread across the country, and about assets under management of about 80 to 85,000 crores. And I don't think in an NBFC space, no, actually, I'm sure there's no one in the NBFC space who would have the kind of distribution and network that we would have. Almost about 130, 150 odd branches located across the length and breadth of the country. So, you drive in some of the smaller locations, some of the smaller districts of, say, in Uttar Pradesh or Maharashtra, down south in Tamil Nadu, you will invariably find a Mahindra Finance branch at each and every of these districts. And there's a very high focus on execution speed and agility. The speed with which we kind of expand into new markets and establish ourselves, from a person who's joined this organization not many years back, but it's incredible for me as well. The second is Home Finance, which is Mahindra Rural Housing Finance Limited, which is focused on rural housing and affordable housing now. So again, about 10,000 employees strong, with about just under 8,000 crores of assets. So insurance broking is something which ties in very closely with the vehicle and equipment financing that we do. So insurance is an integral part, which is where we kind of uh, diversified into this adjacency. And it's become a big powerhouse in itself, good, strong, healthy, profit-making company with about 1,200 odd people, and a very strong enterprise with all insurance companies, all dealers, and the entire partners that we have. Mahindra Manulife is the mutual fund business that we have, which is a JV with Manulife Inc. It's in mutual funds across liquid debt, equity, the whole spectrum, just under 1 lakh crores of assets under management, and some of the schemes have beaten the benchmark returns by a substantial amount. The last is Mahindra Ideal Finance, which is our JV in Sri Lanka. So that's where we do a whole lot of fixed deposits, leasing, mortgage loans. Gold loans are a big market over there. And again, we'll touch 10,000 crores very soon. So, I mean, the idea is that there's Mahindra Finance Services Limited, which is the mother company in some sense. And there are a whole bunch of these companies which address a specific requirement of a customer in his financial services requirement, which we started out as small, but these are all independent, standing on their own feet with their, strong enterprise and a strong customer value proposition that we have. So that's the gamut of financial services offering that we have. But if we could just move to the next slide. Right. That's the senior leadership team that we have. Of course, Mr. Ramesh Iyer is the CEO and managing director. And so Ramesh has been with Mahindra Finance right from inception, so almost about 25, 26 years from where we are. And the thing about Mahindra Finance, which I've personally seen from close quarters, is that the whole leadership has worked its way up from being at a customer front end level. So what it translates is into extreme sensitivity of what the customer requirements are and what a front end salesperson challenges are. So these and it's invaluable. So I don't know if there are any videos of Ramesh on YouTube which are not the financial quarterly results. I strongly urge you to check if there is some video which is day in the life of Ramesh. I've never met a more humble and grounded person in any of the leadership that I have worked with. So whenever he's traveling, whenever he meets his folks, the first question he'll always ask is that, do you meet, where's your helmet if someone has come on a two-wheeler? So where's your helmet? Why are you not wearing your helmet? Are you driving safe? Are you okay? And the span of operations that we have, a huge amount of daily cash collections which happen, invariably there'll be an instance of an unfortunate incident, someone getting robbed. But the first reaction of not just Ramesh but of everyone is that, are you okay, for that individual? So are you okay? Are you doing fair? Did any harm come on you? And then the whole system comes into way to start organizing whatever support he needs. So the point I'm just trying to make it is that it's an organization which is defined by the people and the work that gets done. And the whole senior leadership kind of revolves around just the aim is what more can be done so that the employees have all that they need to give the best that they can. And it keeps translating every month. We have a town hall for almost an hour, hour and a half, which Ramesh and the entire team personally addresses. And it one would think what's the big deal about an hour or two every month, but it's difficult. I've not seen anyone else do it. So Ramesh, Vivek, Rahul, these are all people who have grown up from the industry and who kind of have that high level of orientation and customer value focus that we all do. And the other leaders are all for the individual entities between rural house, Shantanu at rural housing, and Veda or Shesh at MIBL, and so on. Plus, the also advantage that we get is the entire talent and the pool of knowledgeable and wise folks that we have within the Mahindra ecosystem. So Rusbe is of course the group HR head at M&M. Mohit is the CTO at M&M. Atul used to be with M&M. Now he's head of Mahindra Finance. So it's kind of a whole lot of pollination which happens for very senior folks and everyone across the groups as well. Bharat, if you could just go to the next one. Right. So that's in some sense what we have been doing so far over the last 25 odd years of our life. Going forward, what we are doing is, quickly is the first one of which I'm a part of, and I kind of have a personal interest and a vested interest, of course, in it, is that, if you ever had a chance, so there's a loan and there's a lease. India has predominantly been a loan market so far. But if you see most developed economies, lease as a product offering is something which is almost 35% of the overall market. In India, which is just about one also. So as the Indian economy matures and grows, the share of leasing will start, as also more of the young folks like who you start entering the workforce, the entire use versus own, the the propensity to own an asset starts reducing versus the need to use and have access to the asset. So which is where we have seen through the millennials and the Gen Z and the Gen Y's generation starts coming in, lease will start becoming an increasingly important bouquet of our offerings. So, which is where we have started quickly is over the last about 2 years now, and we've got a strong presence and developed a great kind of offering for all corporates and individuals also. It's quicklease.com. Again, I know I'm doing a bit of my own publicity, but do take a look at the site. It's extremely snappy, very intuitive, almost Amazonish in the way the customer interface is. And give a feedback, man. If there's something you would do, would love to hear. So digital finance, which is the next line of business, as how the disintermediation starts happening in the financial services business, a whole lot of digital data tools start getting accessible, is where our now foray is happening. It's already up there and running, and that's where we'll start leveraging all the digital tools, both the social media plus a whole lot of analytics into identifying who's a good customer, what is the need, when is the need, and have a very bespoke, curated offering, which is almost customized to that particular individual. So it's kind of something which is very exciting, and going forward, the share of these two businesses will also increase. Of course, rural housing and insurance brokers are growth companies from a Mahindra point of view as well. And rural housing, we all do business, but the kind of work that we do out of rural housing and affordable is extremely gratifying, because the impact that it has goes far and beyond just giving a home loan or a loan for repairs and maintenance. At that level, you're making so much of a change, and it means so much to the end consumers, customers that we have, that it gives a very high sense of gratification, that we all do work, but very rarely is it that we get a chance to make such a positive and a lasting difference in the life of customers while we are working. Insurance brokers, of course, I've spoken. So, the digitization and the kind of crunching of the value chains which will happen, we are poised to ride the next big wave on that. Bharat, if you could just switch to the next one. Right. So that's where I leave you in the able hands of Jyotirmay folks. A pleasure again. I'm eagerly waiting to hear from you, and hopefully we get to work closely as well in the days ahead. Jyotirmay, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Shantanu. A very warm good morning to all of you. Thanks for joining from the various parts of the country. It's really nice to kind of connect with such a great crowd, young aspirants. Thank you so much. Just a brief kind of a bio about me. I am Jyotirmoy. I have been working in this organization since 18 years now. I have been to various roles. I am part of the HR team. So let me now relay quickly to the PPT. Well, we are talking about employee value proposition. Now, it means a lot from your perspective to look at what the organization employees are feeling about the organization. And these are not just statements, but these are something which comes from the employee itself. And the first one is the growth. Growth means the growth is the way of life here, the culture here. And there are a lot of opportunities in terms of IGP, internal job postings for various roles. And there are a lot of opportunities in terms of getting into new ventures that are there in this organization. So growth has been the way of life, and that's one pillar of employee value proposition. Second is on the empowerment bit, which is more coming from our entire business model itself. A lot of empowerment is there as part of doing their job. So that's very, very important element, and another important pillar for EVP. The most important pillar which binds everything is about the people, and what it matters is that people is matter. So if people matter, the entire activities are revolved around this important resource, which is the people. So with these three pillars, the employees of this organization have a strong feeling, and that's how this entire EVP model is looked at. Second is on the accolades. Organization has got a lot of accolades, starting from the great places to work. We have been consistently in the top 100 list of great places to work for 4 years now, and we are again be participating it in the next year. Mahindra Finance has also been ranked, for 49th among the top 100 companies in sustainability and CSR. Sustainability and CSR is a very, very important element when you look at it from the organization perspective. Now we have ESG, which is another model which the organization looks at, and Mahindra Finance is definitely looking at it from that landscape itself. Apart from that, there are a lot of other awards and accolades that organization has won. Notable among them is the Global Corporate Sustainability Award, NBFC Award for Maturity Level 5 for People CMM. This award I need to kind of take you through, because this is basically an IT-enabled kind of an organization which goes into a maturity level certification. But this Mahindra Finance, being a financial service sector, has been, the first among the NBFCs to get into the maturity level 5 CMM. Taking back to the corporate social responsibility bit, which is an integral part of the organization. When you look at CSR is also from the ecosystem of what we do in terms of our businesses. And I think, this Swabiman, which is our flagship program, which talks about not only training the drivers, mechanics, also looking at the safety, etc., giving scholarships. So there's a whole round of activities around this flagship program of Swabiman, which is our CSR flagship program. Apart from that, we are focusing, as far as the CSR is concerned, on three major areas. One is on the education bit, second is on the health, and third is on the environment. So on the education, we have a flagship program of Nanni Kali, which is educating the underprivileged girl children. We have Mahindra Pride School. We have Divyang Vikas Kendra, which is looking into the PWDs, people with disabilities, being trained for their skill development. On the health piece, of course, the ambulance donation, blood donations are major, way in which we are doing a lot of CSR activities. And of course, the Mahindra Haryali, which is the environmental bit, which talks about, planting trees, etc. But when you look at these activities, it is just not the donation bit, but it is also the employee participation, which is the most integral part that we do. And we call it as the ESOP, which is the employee social option. And that is the differentiator when you look at it from the organization from a CSR perspective. Now, the very important question is, what would be your journey with Mahindra Finance? We have carved a very important, lifeline for the management trainee program in terms of the management trainee joining us. They are getting a lot of opportunity and experience to the customer journeys. And these are very, very critical when you look at it, while, Shantanu took you through the entire, various divisions and businesses. The customer journey is one bit which, you will get an opportunity to, to experience those. And third is, there are various project areas that you will be able to cover while you are in the customer journey, which means the ecosystem there that includes the dealer relationship, the customer acquisition and retention, how we acquire customer, what is the customer relationship management, how do we do that, and the integral part of being a finance company, we buy money and sell money, so we have to recover. So the receivables management is another important bit that you will be able to kind of get exposed to in terms of your training program. While when you look at it from an integrated way, your 0 to 6 months would be a learning phase where you will cover all of these, and then 6 to 12 months will be a period where you'll be groomed to be a manager. There will be a lot of interventions with regard to your 6 to 12 months. There will be training interventions, responsibility, giving you, various stints into various businesses. And then within 1 year, you will be able to either carve out a role for yourself in terms of individual contributor or a team lead kind of a role in the organization. How are we going to select you? Now, we have a very integrated and holistic approach of looking at it. We have the application forms. Once you are interested and you fill in the application form, there will be assessment tests. After the assessment tests, there are group discussions, and then basis on that selection, there will be an interview rounds. The most important bit is what is the compensation. The compensation we are offering is 9 lakh, but there are breakup for this compensation. For what we will be offering at the first year would be 6 lakhs, and then 1 lakh and 1 lakh each while completing 12 months and 24 months. So that's the bit in terms of the remuneration and compensation. But apart from that, let me also tell you that we also have a very important and enabling women-friendly policies. Just to mention, like the nanny policy we have, where up till the age of 5 years, nanny reimbursements are being given to women, and we have safety in mind. We have, for late working, etc., we have cab reimbursements for women. So this is this helps in terms of enabling the women folks to join our organization as well. So I welcome all of you to join this journey. It's a fabulous journey, and I hope that you will make your bit in terms of getting to know this organization better by joining us. Thank you very much. Open for questions. So we're taking these online questions. You would like to sit in? Okay. So how are we going? Raising hands or we're just putting the question?
So a question has come. First of all, good morning, everyone. We see a question saying whether the process will be offline or online. It will be depending on the campus. The VMentor team will get in touch with you for your respective campus on the next steps of the process. So you can feel free to type in your queries in the chat, and we'll take it from there. So as a management trainee, what would you expect from the students?
Shanti, you want to take that question?
Yeah, sure. I was just waiting. So, all right, what I look from a management trainee is an enthusiasm and a thirst to learn, to do more. And how do we do that in a collaborative kind of a fashion? So just to bring as many new ideas as possible, to push the envelope, to challenge the status quo, and just see how it can be done more. So not to get straight-jacketed, this is how it is being done, so that's how it will be done, not to be there. So what I would look for in a management trainee, so some of the things of financial statement analysis and some hardcore finance concepts is something which we will take care of. Don't worry about that. But an innate, the drive to push, the drive to do more, the drive to collaborate, and the drive to be bold. Those are a few things which I would look for in terms of the core finance concept, training and upskilling. All that we'll manage. So I don't think that is a challenge. The more is how much you are able to contribute and push the envelope into doing more. Jyotirmay, your thoughts as well?
No, I think I second you, Shantanu. I think that's what we are looking at in terms of the budding aspirants.
To answer a few more questions that are popping up in the chat, we see a lot of questions based on when will we have this process, what are the timelines. So let me just clarify that. The team from VMentor will be reaching out to your respective place comms, and you will get the dates in advance. Okay, each college will have a separate timeline, and the dates will be communicated to your place comm along with the job description. So I see here people have asked for job description. It will be communicated to your respective place comm teams. Again, all specializations, we're not, someone has asked whether you're looking only for finance background specializations. No, that's not the case. Marketing and sales are also welcome to apply.
I'm a marketing guy and I've done finance, so there's no rocket science to it. So don't it should be okay.
So I see some questions coming in for the assessment test. What kind of assessment test this will be? So this will be a YUGMA administered assessment test. And this will be a generic test which will kind of look at the EQ, the emotional quotient, the logical reasoning, basic English. You will need to put your videos on because you may need to also record a video which will kind of look at how are you communicating. It will have some questions around verbal reasoning. So this will be like a generic aptitude test with some amount of management understanding, general knowledge understanding, and your communication skills. So that's how it's going to look like. We will be getting in touch with your placement committees starting today. We will share the eligibility criteria because there are going to be a few filters that we've put into this whole process. So there is going to be some eligibility criteria basis which you all will be eligible to apply for this. And then links will be shared with you starting tomorrow sometime. So just keep in touch with your placement committees because our team will be in touch with your place comms. So that's really the process. It will be a written test. It will be an online test, basically, not a paper pencil test, but an online test.
There was one question about group discussions. So it will be topics will be given to you on the spot, and you'll be expected to discuss a classic group discussion. Okay, and you can expect these details from your placecom in terms of the CTC breakup, the job description, and the timelines. All of these will be communicated to you by your respective placement teams. So currently, we do not have empty vacancies for HR. It will be a sales and marketing role, and the location will be pan-India. You see some questions on the location. It will be pan-India. Shantanu, would you want to take this question? Some people have asked, what is the challenges faced in this sector?
Okay, sure. So the financial services challenges are, but coming out of COVID had its own sense of challenges where the whole economy went, almost like into a cardiac arrest of sorts. So there was a set of challenges which we experienced, but that's more of a black swan event, which is not repetitive. So that's one part. By and large, what we work as an NBFC and where there is a semi-urban and a rural diaspora. So when it comes to a rural diaspora, we are, as India as an economy is dependent on monsoon, some of the MSP prices and so on. So we are exposed to the vagaries which come linked with it. So from a portfolio or a financial company point of view, that's the risk that we are, the ability of the borrowers to repay. But from what I have seen is all the loans which are in the tier 2 or the rural economy of the country, there could be a delay, but there is seldom a default. So people are by and large, they set themselves to a very high standard. So it always works out. And being an NBFC, we are not a bank. That's the fact. And like banks have an access to a current account and savings account, which are extremely low cost deposits. So which we don't have. We raise money basis the AAA rating that we have, and then we onward lend it. So there's a bit of handicap which we face compared to the banks when it comes out to being the rate at which we have to lend at, but which we try and overcome through the agility, through the network, through the customer understanding and the market intelligence which we have over the years, which, like I said, it's difficult for any bank to reproduce. And it's just the speed with which we are able to turn it around. Many customers see a positive value in it, and that's how we have reached where we are now. So by and large, these are few, and there's a whole bunch of others, but it will take far too much time for this forum.
So I think there are a lot of questions coming in terms of the number of positions. So I think this question has been answered by the Mahindra finance team that this is a pan-India drive. So there are multiple locations across 46 cities. The hiring will happen. So there are multiple positions. Feel free to apply. And there are a lot of questions around what type of specializations can apply. So this is going to be a sales role, as the speakers have already mentioned. So if a HR student is interested in pursuing that or evaluating that, you are welcome to apply. If an operations student is interested in evaluating this role, please feel free to apply there as well.
To a question, interesting question on semi-urban and rural work. Should we live in a big city or a rural area? I think that's a very interesting question. Our business line is more from the rural financing point of view. So we look at it as the location, as the area in which we are working. So we are present in rural areas as well. So it can be mixed of both a rural area, a semi-urban area, as well as urban area. So it will be a mixture of various locations. So town 2 and tier 2 and tier 3 cities as well. With regard to direct sales, let me explain to you that when you look at sales, it's a different kind of sales. We are basically selling money, so it has its own dimension for sales. We have different sources of sales. So when you look at direct sales per se, when you ask this question, it is more from the point of view of looking at it, what is the channel of how we are doing it, and various product line will have their different channel to sell. So to answer you specifically on that, this would depend on which channel are you looking at. While the team here would ensure and get you all the details that are required with regard to your participation, the selection process to the PlaceCom team, you may further refer to the details that are required. To a question which has come right now, is there any bond? No, there is no bond at all.
So it will not be in the 11 sectors of the Mahindra group. This is for Mahindra Finance. This hiring is for Mahindra Finance. It will be spread across the different verticals of Mahindra Finance, maybe like commercial vehicle loans, auto loans, car loans, pre-owned car loans. It will be purely for Mahindra Finance. So to answer again, the eligibility criteria will be communicated to your respective PlaceComs. You can please wait for communication from them.
With regard to a question on hardcore finance credit or analyst profile, while it may, in the journey, you may look at these kind of positions, but as of now, we have a sales or a marketing combination kind of a position. Yeah.
I think there's one question which is coming up repeatedly. Will there be any targets for this particular role, which I'll request the Mahindra team to actually pick that question up. And two, I think on the CTC, there are still some questions. Yeah, so the slide is already up there.
On the targets, yeah, they would be targets, and of course they would be. And my personal view is that we tend to give our best when grace under pressure. That is what it all boils down to. So how well we handle, how well we conduct under pressure. Because when there is no pressure, everyone is okay and happy. But when there is pressure, that's when the real kind of diamond gets separated out. So there is target, there is budget, but at no point of time is there any pressure to have shortcuts or do whatever it is needed to achieve the budget. Like I said, the first slide, if you remember what we started off with, more important than how big we are, how we've become big is important. So the journey is equally important. So while the budgets and targets are there, it's something that no one ever has ever been having to do anything which is outside of what is the correct thing to be done.
So just to walk you through the CTC again, this breakup, the 6 lakh is a combination of fixed and variable. For you, the split will be 92% fixed and 5% variable. Okay, of the 6 lakh. Post completion of your 1 year, you will have a 1 lakh retention component. And post completion of 2 years, that is 24 months, you will have another 1 lakh retention component. And after you complete 24 months successfully, 1 lakh will be added to your CTC component. Okay. Regarding the target part of it, just rest assured that you will have a training period, structured training for 6 months, following which you will do a shadow stint with ABMs and ACMs, that is the area business managers and area sales managers. You will do a shadowing them, so you will understand the job, on the job, a lot of things you'll understand. And only then will you be put into a full-fledged role. So you'll have a good 1 year to understand and get grips on what the role is about.
But I stand corrected. Then maybe I kind of jumped the gun on that.
Don't worry, the CTC breakup will also be shared with your Placecom teams, and they will share it with all of you through your official channels. This document will be shared with your Placecom teams. Okay. Yes, compensation will be paid throughout the training period as well.
The questions will be posted to our preferred location or it will be random. I think more than that, you should be willing to, get an experience of various locations in the country, and you should be open for that.
Right. So just one thought from me for folks, there's someone who's much older now, but early on, I would kind of encourage folks to be a little bit out of the comfort zone. It's a good thing to go and explore out there, what's out there. And when you do it, first off, as you start your career, is always the best time to do it. And from a Mahindra point of view, it's incredible, the brand and the respect that Mahindra enjoys in the locations across the country. I mean, I have forgotten the number of times our people get called as chief guest for at a panchayat meeting or any of the meeting over there, and it's purely because of the Mahindra brand that is there. They just hear someone has come from Mahindra, and a whole lot of things start flowing. So I although I understand where everyone comes from, want to be home and all, but when you look at your career in a longer perspective, always seize the opportunity to work out of your comfort zone and location.
Yeah, thanks, Shantanu. Yeah, that's right.
So, before we close, one last bit of advice from both Jyotirmoy and Shantanu, if you'd want to share with the students on what they can do to make it.
Well, we've covered most of it, and like I said, wish you the very best in all your careers. You're entering the corporate world at an exciting time when a whole bunch of things are going well. But at the same time, it's going to be a VUCA world, so you need to be prepared for managing ambiguity, managing the complexity and the uncertainty which will happen. So make good, wise decisions. I think it's important to be with an organization with whom your value sets match and who hasn't demonstrated kind of a track of building enduring kind of businesses for the entire employees as well as the communities out there. So wish you the very best of luck, folks, and I look forward to be working with many of you in the days ahead.
Yeah, I also second Shantanu, and I kind of tell you from my experiences that that in this organization, once you will work, you will get a lot of opportunities, a lot of freedom, and a lot of good people practices, all combined into one. That's what I would like to kind of share it with you, and I keep it open for you all to kind of decide whether you want to join this organization or not. Keep an informed decision, and look at the brand, look at what the brand offers to you, and look at your interest. Your interest matters the most. So all the very best, and looking forward to working with you.
Thank you so much, everybody, and for all those questions that kept coming in the chat box. You will hear from your placement team starting tomorrow. So today we'll start communicating with them. There will be invites sent to you by the placement team. So this entire process will be through placement teams only. There is no direct application here. So keep in touch with them, and we will keep communicating with them. Thank you so much, all of you, and all the best for this process.
Thank you so much. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.